make sure I switched overlay. I did indeed, and not muted. Everything's good. Alright, spawning in the bottom left of Derelict Watcher. It is the captain of Team Kessel. He's a Terran. Oh, excuse me. He's a Terran player playing in purple. It's TFresh. And his opponent, the actual leader of XT's community. I am merely the captain for the CTL team. He is the Zerg player in green. It is Eclipse. So captain against captain here. Always fun to see. This is a gold level match. Looks, yeah, we'll have to see if anything happens. Opening games are always fun. So the last game was a disaster. But I love it. I love that stuff. I love all that stuff. Who is? What was I saying? Oh yeah, the last game was a complete disaster, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. Especially, it's nice to see John get a win in his first time playing for XT for anything really. So glad for him. Glad to see that. TFresh going for the normal racks. Looks like he will be going for a gas as well. So likely be just a Reaper expansion build. Nice standard. It looks like Eclipse is probably going to go for a hatch first. Again, nothing crazy coming out of either player just yet. I'll have to see if anything comes later on in this game that is actually interesting. ZVT is kind of one of my hated matchups. For some stupid reason, mines fail me. I can't figure out how to use mines correctly, and so I'm terrible at ZVT. Or TVZ, I guess technically, since I am a Terran player. More or less a Terran player. So, yeah. It's been a disaster for a while now. Something about mines, man. Something about mines. They just kind of kill me. And Eclipse actually, he's playing pretty greedy here. Not getting his pool until 17. I'd like to see we'll likely see a gas fairly soon after that. But this Reaper's going to get in here and get into Eclipse's base and be able to do a good amount of damage. Probably at least. What was I saying? Since this pool is so late, and Queens will be a long way off, and even Speed is a long way off. So actually, just a lot of Reapers could do a whole lot of damage right now. But I kind of doubt Eclipse or TFresh will do that. Likely see a factory pretty soon after he gets his second command center up and started, as this SCV does look like he's chilling over here waiting to do it. And actually, TFresh is going for a Marine straight after his first Reaper, not even bothering getting a second Reaper or anything. And this Overlord, I don't know, it should be able to get away. I don't know. This Overlord may die pretty quickly here. Oh, even going in a worse direction. This Marine is going to be able to kill this Overlord. That's no good. And meanwhile, this Reaper is going to get in. Come on, Reaper. Do your job, Reaper. Do your job, Reaper. There you go. 2 Queens on the way. 6 Lings on the way. 6 Lings about to pop. But there we go. 6 Lings do come out. And so they're going to be able to maybe catch up to this Reaper and do some damage. At the very least, it will force the Reaper to deal with Lings rather than drones. And actually almost a nice round there for Eclipse. Nice control by TFresh, getting that Reaper out and alive. And meanwhile, at the same time, he's going... Actually... Oh no. Oh TFresh. Oh TFresh, no. Oh, you hate to see that. That's awful. How does... This game's a dick. And I'm sure he thinks he killed it too, because his Marine stopped. Oh, that's awful. That is just rude. And yeah, so Reaper down here. Just gonna be able to scout out a little bit. Overlord. That is the luckiest Overlord ever. Gets behind the smoke and you can't see. That sucks. Meanwhile, TFresh is just going to be going into Hellions, getting his stem up, getting 2 more racks, getting his second command center already started. Eclipse floating a shit ton of money right now at 800 minerals. I think he may have been supply blocked for a while. I don't know. It seems like he was probably supply blocked for a little bit. I think all these Overlords just popped. So he hasn't been able to actually make anything. But he's at almost 10,000 minerals, and we are at 6 minutes in this game. We're not at 30 minutes in. We are at 6 minutes. Okay, there we go. He spent some money there. 14 drones in production. I think that's a ton of larvae just popped. And actually, Eclipse is going to be taking his 3rd base as well. Does he have speed yet? He doesn't have speed yet. He doesn't even have speed started yet. He doesn't even have any taken any gases. Eclipse is ballsy. Just taking 4 gases all at once. No speed. 6.5 minutes in. And speed's going to be a while away still. He has to get the 100 gas, and then he has to actually research it and let the research time happen. But 4 Queens on the map so far, Going to be starting to get into this creep spread, and actually I think this Reaper, did that Reaper kill Atuma? Good job, Reaper. Actually, what is, this factory is idle right now. Only 2 Hellions right now. Still this Overlord, still the luckiest Overlord alive. Third base coming in, actually a very, very fast armory coming out of TFresh. Looks like he's probably going to be, I guess, going into Hellbats then? He stopped Hellion production, and he's getting an armory super, super fast before he even has any engineering base. So he will likely be going for some Hellbats, maybe going to Hellbat dropping a little later on. I think Hellbats are still decent, even though they did get a little bit of a nerf against the light damage. They still do a pretty damn good job against drones, and at the very least, they're very, very annoying to deal with. There's a lot, of time that the Zerg player has to spend taking care of those Hellbat drops, if that is indeed what he's going for, and he does. He's making 2 Hellbats already. There's no starport in production just yet, so drop play will be a ways off, but maybe by the time he does have a good amount of Hellbats out, he'll have Blue Fame for him, and as well as some, some medevacs to drop with. That Eclipse is still basically just droning up, actually getting some roaches. Gonna get a roach worn out. Maybe just for safety, I doubt it's gonna be for an aggression. This Overlord that didn't die earlier finally gets in, and he does see that the armory is here. Did he actually see? He did. No, he didn't see that the factory is over here. He should know that the factory is there. So he should know that there is some chance of something strange coming his way at the moment. And is there anything really on the field for Eclipse? Not really. He's got 5 Zerglings and 6 Queens right now. No Banelings have been made. Is Lair on the way? Lair is on the way. 1-1 is on the way. But there's not much really to push away this push that's coming out of TFresh. And at the same time, TFresh is taking his 3rd base over here. That's a lot of bio. That's a lot of bio. And do they have stim? They have stim. There's a lot of stim bio against 0 units for our Zerg player. He's got some Lings, and Lings don't do shit against stim bio. So, not to mention he has these Hellions and a couple Hellbats to back him up. This is going to be a problem for Eclipse here. Yeah, this could be a major problem. The huge units get killed off mainly pretty quickly, but with all this bio, and they do have stim, it looks like, honestly, TFresh may just win right here. There's some roaches on the way and a few more Lings, but roaches and Lings, even against stim bio, aren't the greatest of units. He may clean this up. It looks like he's gonna clean this up, but he's lost a lot. He didn't lose any workers, but he lost the ability to make workers with the larva that he does have. It looks like he's actually gonna lose another Overlord too. So actually he didn't lose another Overlord. Thanks speed. Ferrari Lord gets away. It's the 2nd Overlord that's been able to get away, but all that larva that got spent on army units. And not to mention the fact that Eclipse lost some Queens there. How many Queens? He lost 4 Queens. 4 Queens, 3 Roaches, and 25 Lings died. 13 Marines, 2 Hellbats, and 2 Hellions, as well as that original Reaper. So the comparative amount that each player lost is definitely in the favor of our Terran player here. Regardless of this resources lost tab not being like heavily in his favor, it's just mainly just now that Eclipse hasn't been able to make any workers. He's on 38 workers right now to the Terran's 56, and Terran's 3rd base has finished and is turning into an orbital right now. Eclipse is going to try to go for a Spire, and he's gonna need some luck here, some nice muta harassment really. To be able to take out anything of TFresh's. There's just a lot of units back here still. Luckily for Eclipse, TFresh's upgrades are a little bit behind. Since he did go for that earlier aggression, his engineering bays were a little bit later. But that was the trade-off he made, and that's a decent trade-off to make. So Eclipse's 2-2 will finish about the same time that TFresh's 1-1 finishes, but another large force is moving across the map, and with 2 medevacs in tow at this time. No Banelings have been made yet. Need to see some Banelings from Eclipse, and does this Overlord see it? This Overlord does see that this is coming. So Banelings are being morphed right now, but that's a lot of bio. Some decent splits, and letting these Hellbats tank the damage of the Banelings should be able to take care of all of that threat. The Banelings do have speed, so that's nice to see, at the least. TFresh looks like he is repositioning his army, putting the Hellbats in front, and the next little engagement thing happening right now. I've forgotten how to zoom out. I feel awful. But all the banelings are dead now, and now it's just bio with medevacs against some roaches, and that's not what you want to have as a third player. He's just losing more and more here, even though he is going to hold this off, it looks like. It's, again, what is TFresh losing compared to what Eclipse is losing? Eclipse is losing a lot of his time spent, and he's still on such a low worker count because he just can't make workers. The threat of an attack is always there. 10 Mutalisks are on the way for Eclipse. He just used all of his money. His third base still has 0 workers here. Meanwhile, TFresh's third base is up and running, and actually it's almost completely saturated. He just took off some workers to build some more extra barracks. So that's the only reason that's not saturated. His main still has a decent amount of workers here, and his natural also still has a good amount of workers. And all this army is still back home. Gonna push across the map again, and this will likely turn into a killing blow with basically no banelings out right now. There's no banelings out right now. Just these 5 roaches. Some lings just finished up that should morph into banelings pretty soon. I mean, with some decent baneling hits against this army is basically all that Eclipse can do. Where did his mutas go? Mutas, where are you? Chilling over here instead of harassing. These mutas need to be harassing. If the mutas were harassing, actually there's a good amount of turrets up here. There's a turret in the main. There's some turrets over here. So engagement is going to go down here. Nice baneling connections, however. So it's going to force this army away, and with the mutas, actually Eclipse could get a nice trade here, killing off a lot of these medevacs. Oh, not the second one. Doesn't quite get a second one, but he did kill most of the army there, and that's like the first decent trade Eclipse has had here. But again, still only on 42 workers, committed to 73 of TFresh, and this standing army still waiting back home for him once to get back, and a huge stem forward coming forward to take out Eclipse's army. And it's going to force Eclipse to go back home with no banelings left, except for, what was that, like 1 or 2, I think? Just 1. Just a single baneling left. He has to turn around and go home. 4th base has finished up for TFresh, and he's just in a good position. It was about as good of a trade as Eclipse could have had there, but he's still playing from behind by quite a bit. His main is likely almost mined out, and he's going for an infestation pit, and he's only on 41 workers and not even really 3 bases. TFresh has basically had this game in hand since that first little attack with a small amount of bio and a couple Hellbats. Did a good amount of damage. Eclipse does know that this base is up over here, and he could swing around with mutas before turrets get up, and as I say, that one turret is going to be finished, another one will be started before mutas even have a chance to get over here, but it looks like really Eclipse needs to keep all his army back home just to survive at the moment. He's just not really able to produce in the way he wants to produce. Actually, he's going for ranged attack right now, kind of splitting up his attack path a little bit, which is a little unwise, and TFresh scans and sees what's in front of him there. Knows there's really no need to push in there. He's just going to go check for this base over here and kill that off immediately, and Eclipse just cancels it. He knows he has no chance of getting that up. No point. So TFresh is just going to swing back around and take out all these creep tumors here. So Eclipse's early queens are really amounting to almost nothing at this point. And this base is probably going to be for naught. Just 3 banelings up here. A few more banelings back here. And here comes the only engagement of the game left, really, for our player. Oops, not what I wanted. That's not how you do it either. Shift Z, there it is. That's the engagement. That's what I want to do. And with this engagement, supply is just plummeting for Eclipse. Down to 150 supply to 80 supply right now. Most of TFresh's army is dying, and with not many Marines left. Where are the Marines? Where are the Marines? Can I control click some Marines? I can't. Oh well. Well, TFresh is going to back off again. Doesn't really necessarily need to, but he's just going to play it safe. Third base has died for Eclipse. This is more or less GG. Just kind of waiting for Eclipse to give the death blow. Once he gets enough units produced, he will move across the map and take his opponent out. Yeah. Even this base being turned into a planetary, so run-bys aren't going to be able to do anything against him. 3-3 on the way. 3-3 even plating. +3 plating. How did that happen? Coming out for TFresh. Doesn't even need the armor upgrade. And really, since he is just using these Hellbats mainly as soaking on those on the banelings, getting the plating upgrade is probably the best choice there. I don't think, does he even have blue flame? He doesn't have blue flame. No, he doesn't have blue flame. So those Hellbats, excuse me, are purely going to be for soaking. And he's going to try to swing in here and take out what they can. But nice turret spread here. It's going to force Eclipse to stay in this tiny little area. At the very least, he's going to delay mining on this base, but it really doesn't matter too much. Eclipse trying to take a hidden third base, but 121 army supply to 79 right now. And where are those? It's all on roaches. That's all on roaches, and that's really not going to do anything against stim bio. TFresh could sit here and wait for 3-3 if he so chose to do, but he really doesn't need to. Actually, he's going to go send one little bit of units into the main base as a drop and just attack down here into the natural. And this will be the killing blow here. 193 supply to 120 as TFresh moves in, and he's going to even up this series 1-1 for his team. And there is the GG. Congrats to TFresh. End of the series. We are at 1-1. I will be back shortly. A little bit more music and updating the overlay, etc., etc.